Welcome everybody, this is Cyril Bourke. This week we're going to have a look at a horse. The name of the horse is Hottie. Hottie has suffered a neurological condition. Let's speak to Steven Bartlett, who's currently doing the BWS trial, and he's using this system to assess both humans and animals.
My name's Steven Bartlett. I've been on a BWS trial with the NES System for the last, it's getting up towards 8-9 days now. One of my first guinea pigs happens to be a horse, as well as family and friends, and because the horse is in a especially bad way. He's about 10-year-old breeding stallion. Beautiful nature. He's always been a fit horse, happy horse. I had not seen him for probably about 2 to 3 months, and I found out actually just before I went to see him that it was because he was basically unable to stand for most of that. So they'd only just got him to stand up before I went to see him.
So what was the sequence of events that they think caused that, Stephen?
Well, it was possibly, it was post-Hendra vaccine, sort of within a couple of weeks of that, but also a possible black snake bite. So that's, the reason for it is up in the air, but the apparent damage, neurological damage that you can see, well, I can see it because I can see him thinking and I can see him having the trouble moving. He's very disjointed from his mind to his body, and he is struggling a lot. But within the last week, he's moved from the first time that I scanned him, and I thought that it was, I was waiting to fall on me, basically. I was waiting to fall over because he was wobbly. I scanned him with the miHealth. I looked through the results. I arranged the infoceuticals for him. I started some of the treatments with the miHealth. It did come up with his nervous system in a few spots, so I started with that. I got some good advice from Cyril, and we've given him another scan, which has sort of further shown that neurological connection. So we just, I'm happy that he's improving.
Now, the day before you saw the results, the day before you gave him the infoceuticals, he's stationary, not able to move around easily?
He wasn't moving around. I hadn't seen him outside before that, and I'm pretty sure the morning after the first lot of infoceuticals, I came by and he was outside, and the owner of the horse, Lorelei, she was just all smiles and happy because he not only had gone outside, he was also, you could see a lot of his playful self that he used to be. He nips here and there. He's quite a character. So some of that has come back as well. So it's been a big improvement in a short space of time compared to how long he hasn't been well for. It's been 2 to 3 months.
So the response to the infoceuticals, that was virtually overnight.
It was pretty immediate. I was surprised. I expected it to take longer, but happily surprised that it didn't.
Okay.
So.
Can you remember what infoceuticals was the first round that you gave him? I know there's about 4, wasn't there?
Yeah, there were 4. There was a BFA. A couple of the ETs. I can't remember which ones off the top of my head, but.
And I see the ETs have become a bit of a theme because we scanned him today and yeah. ET0 was end stop, wasn't it? It was purple, and it was basically that and BFA were the two strong ones that were very clear there.
Yeah, the ET0 stood out from all the other on that section of the scan. That was the overriding.
Now, we've used the miHealth on him this afternoon, and that was quite entertaining, wasn't it?
It was. I've learned a lot with that. So finding sticky points on him and the way that he reacts, it's just immediate, and it's apparent that it's having a good effect on him. So
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
So we found areas of asymmetry in the coat. They turn out to be waxy in nature, like perspiration and little pockets of it. And when you drag the device over the hide, you actually, when you interact with those areas, the device is recognised by the horse, isn't it?
It is, and you can feel it stick, and you can also, there are different parts of his body that starts to flicker or shake. They react on the nerve side of things each time you go over a certain spot. So, and the fact that he pushes into it, he obviously enjoys enjoys it. And then there's also in his hind quarter when we were running it across there. That was, to me, it was a huge reaction there, waking up a spot that's actually what in the first scan I did, it was coming up in that area, the coccyx and around there, that there was an issue in that information field. So it's, as we go on, the more things sort of fall into place, they connect. The on-body use of the miHealth is a good surprise as well. So I'm enjoying that.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we look forward to see how Hottie, isn't it? Hottie, his name?
Hottie the horse, yes.
Hottie the horse.
Yep.
We look forward to seeing how he improves over the next few weeks. Thanks very much for sharing this with us, Steve.
Anytime. Thanks, Cyril.
Now here we've got a male horse called Hottie, and Hottie had a vaccination and suffered significantly, very stiff muscles, staggering, difficulty in walking. Really good response to infoceuticals and some miHealth treatment, and we're going to now follow up with a second scan and have a look. So, hello, remember this? So, here we go. Now I made use of the scanning from the miHealth using the central button. So I didn't have to use two hands on the keyboard. Like that. So let's have a look at the scan. Here we have the Animal Wellness System view of the energetic rejuvenators for Hottie. This is the follow-up scan. Hottie has improved a lot in the first week with the infoceuticals. He's now on his feet and a little bit more comfortable. So we're having a look now at the ERs. So looking at 53, ER 53. We can see it goes the front of the hoof, through the legs and through the body, through to the side here. This has the liver meridian and affects blockages often related to the retina as well. We work down through here, we've got ER 11. This affects the parathyroid and the small intestine, working from the ear and going down through the side here and down the leg. We have ER 48, the pharynx. This is part of the heart protector meridian running through the front of the chest. Here we have ER 59. This is part of the stomach meridian, working in two areas of the head, through the front of the chest, underside, or the rear leg, should we say. We have the small intestine again on ER 16. This is part of the small intestine and heart meridian. ER 42, working with the pancreas and spleen meridian. And ER 58,
again related to the small intestine, again working along this pathway.
Come on.
That's so much better than this morning. This morning he was down on his hindquarters.
Yeah.
He was down, his tail was on the ground.
Just put up his halter. He might stand there.
That's, you know, Richard, that's better than this morning. Good baby. I'm impressed. Because Debbie said, oh, next thing for him is a hole. I said, no, it's not.
Oh yes, look at that, straight away. Yes.
I found a new lump on Holly too, on my back.
So straight away we've got a reflex where it's that yawning is where the horse is basically starting to go into parasympathetic.
Isn't that a good reaction?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when they yawn and lick their lips, that means they've accepted it and that's working.
It. That's it. Thank you. I'm just working my way down that pathway that we've seen on the computer. There we
Oh,
go.
look at that.
Lovely.
If he farts too is a good thing too.
That's it. There we go. Now, from where I was at the base of the ear into the jaw and to about here on the neck, I was only at 2%, and yet we straight away got a response from the horse. Now I've brought it up to 9%. Yes, yeah, that's good. I'm just working my way through the coat. So even though the line comes along, I'm actually brushing across it. I don't have to worry too much about trying to be a perfect line. There is no perfect line. Just travel through the areas looking for those sticky bits or anywhere that gives you a response. There you go. How do you feel about that? Wonderful. Wonderful.
Cyril's never had a swollen leg from the day it's happened. That's weird.
What we're looking at is the pathways where the energy travels, and we've mapped those with the computer. So what we've just done is provide information to the body and put it in that general manner here where my hand's just travelling, because that's actually the area that we think could be disturbed at this point. There you go. It's obviously had a big impact because he's really going, oh, you know, can I have a lie down and sleep now? And we've only been on there a few seconds.
That's exciting.
What I'm going to do now is choose the next one down the list, and then we'll put another one on you, okay?
That's where because
Previous to that, he fell down the bank.
when he gets happy, he runs. Oh, sorry, I've got to keep it.
So which one are we doing, Cyril?
This one is related to the pharynx. It's actually ER 48. I'm just running it through the front of the chest here now. There we go. Very cooperative, very willing to help. Here we go.
You should be taking a photo of his eye too, because his eye's gone calm. That's calm. Oh, there it is. See, there's the calm eye.
There we go. Beautiful. Let's have a look at the
That
next.
to him is just, that's wonderful. You can see it in his face.
Next one. 50.
Another one in the back. Right up the front as well. Around the face.
Yeah, the 59 is quite complicated. It goes.
Yeah.
It's here and here, travels across, and then it's going down the front,
Yeah.
and effectively it's going underneath all the way across, and then up into this hip area. So it's got a number of things linked together. So hello. We've got him on 8%, and that's enough actually to actually feel vibration in the device. So it's actually operating just like an asymmetry would be on the body. There you go. There we go. Now we are in Queensland, Australia at the moment, in a wet day, so there is moisture in the air. Oh yes. So I'm not going to put the energy up any higher because obviously the animal feels it. Here we go. Let's go to the side. There we go. Yeah, good.
His back's coming up.
Okay.
All those nerve endings are going all the way through.
Now Hottie's the perfect patient. He doesn't need restraining, he's very cooperative.
And he's a stallion.
Yeah. He's good, he's really good. For most practitioners who are maybe treating a horse in a stable, you wouldn't have the horse freestanding like this. So what you're seeing is not the norm. It's a beautiful, beautiful horse.
Why are we going to keep him alive?
Thank you, Hottie.
He's saying thank you to you too.
That's good. Now I've used a few integrators and they keep coming back to the small intestine in 3 different ERs. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to treat basically from the shoulder. I'm just going to go right across the back because when we first saw him last week, we found real hot spots right on the top of the hips here. So I want to see how that's going now. So I'm just bringing it up on the body again. This time I've actually chosen muscles. That's it. He's rising up his leg there. I'm using 18 energy. I'm using intensity 3. He seems pretty happy with that. There we go. He's actually almost lifting his leg off the ground. You can feel him moving his weight around. There we go. Yeah. Let's go to the other side.
His hamstrings have been really bad. Gotta get out the side.
Now during this process of brushing the device onto the coat of Hottie here, you find waxy areas where the device sticks, or there's a resistance as you draw it around an area. Most of that is moisture in certain patches, and these are effectively the dermatones of the skin showing us where asymmetries are. Exactly the same as you'd see in a human, except on the coat they become little waxy areas, moist areas where the device won't slide as easily, and you can feel it with your fingertips. So it's a really useful tool, and means you're not wasting time. You literally slide along and round areas until you come across those, and then work on those slightly more.
That's a response. That's a good response. His hamstrings have been so sore.
Hottie's recognising the field that's coming from the device. That's why he keeps sniffing at it, because it's radiating the PMF as well. There we go. I don't think we should do any more with you. I think we should just let you rest again. He's gone into such a strong parasympathetic. I think he's just ready to rest again.
What do you call parasympathetic?
Parasympathetic is the resting healing cycle.
Right.
Sympathetic is the excited sort of jumping around, sort of event sort of sensation. So when somebody does like 3-day eventing, where they do each discipline. So the horse goes from a very distinct sympathetic, running around, jumping over hedges, going through courses, and then when you go to dressage, you've got to really calm them down, and the horse has to drop all that stress
energy.
It has to be concentration and relax. So deliberate rather than just instant. So they can function beautifully in both. And that second one, the parasympathetic, is the resting cycle where they really can heal properly.
Because I just want him to live. He's a model horse. That's huge. Wonderful. Yoo-hoo. Hello.
Now you'll see him react.
So out of that fluid level, you've got, what was that, 3 or 4?
It was 2 and a bit. It was around about 15 to 18 drops.
15 to 18 drops. Cool.
Nope. Wait.
Come over your shoulder, that's it.
Up he comes. Boy.
Super.